Hey WILDR folks, I am so jazzed about this new ankle and foot mobility. We need to have our shoes off. We're gonna be spending 1 minute per side, spreading the foot and then balancing on that foot. Then we're gonna spend 1 minute per side, getting into some rotation in our splayed foot position. Then we're gonna go and deeply stretch our calves and then deeply stretch the front of the foot and shin as well. So feet are off, shoes are off, and we are gonna get started here in 10 seconds. What I want you to do is we're gonna pick up all of our toes, spread them as wide as we can, and then plant them one at a time. So big toe, second toe, all the way down. Then we're gonna come up onto one foot. So that foot should be in a splayed position. Now at the beginning, hold this if you're good. If you need to, you can help your foot splay by physically separating it apart, pressing it down onto the ground, and coming up like this. Now, if you have toe spreaders and you find that spreading part hard, you can try that out here, but get into that splayed position, and then we're just gonna balance here. And what I want you to feel is the muscles of your foot being active, stretching a bit probably as well, but also being active to press into the ground. Make sure that foot stays splayed and that your weight is on your forefoot, so we're not leaning back here. We've got 10 seconds left, and we're gonna go to our second side. Try and keep those hips level for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, again, back onto 2 feet. We're gonna pick up all our toes, spread them as wide as we can, put our big toe down, and then putting our next toes as wide as we can, if we need to, physically splaying them, and then coming up to balance on that foot. Good. Now you should feel your foot being active here, and if you want to, you could add a little challenge by moving that other leg back and forth to change the weight. You could also hold a weight in one hand, but if you slip and your toes come together, take a second, reestablish yourself, spread those toes, get your weight back on your forefoot, so the ball of your foot, but rolling back and forth as it needs to. And we've got 10 seconds left here of this position. Feeling all those little muscles turning on. 3, 2, 1. Come on down. We now get to go into that 1 minute per side of rotation. So we're gonna, again, take one foot forward in a lunge position. We're gonna splay the foot, physically separate it, press those feet flat down, so toes flat down into the ground. And then we're gonna drive the knee as far forward as we can over the toes. Again, they're actively pushing down. From there, we're going to send the knee to the outside and then rotate the knee into the inside. We don't want to put pressure here, but we just want some rotation. Just a little bit of rotation so you can feel this arch lifting and turning. Now, I don't want you to be clawing with the toes. They press flat down, and that takes a little bit of work and trial and error. 3, 2, 1. Let's go into second side here. So toes lift, toes splay, toes come down onto the ground. If you need more help, spread them out physically. And let's drive our knee forward and then rotate in slightly, rotate out. Heel should stay put. Toes should stay put here. Feeling the foot, the toes press down like this, not like this, like this. And if you want to know if you're doing it right, when we look down at those toes, we don't want to see knuckles popping up. We want to see the whole foot working together. So knuckles shouldn't pop up. There shouldn't be aggressive creases in the toe. 10 seconds left. This is hard, and it actually takes a lot of mental energy too at the beginning. So be kind to yourself. 3, 2, 1. Time to come into a deep ankle stretch. Now, my ankle stretcher is in my kitchen right now. I stole it from the gym. So I am going to be using this box. You can use any kind of raised surface. but we are going to be letting, with a straight leg, those heels drop towards the floor so that you feel a stretch through here. Now, sometimes people will say, I don't feel a stretch. If that's the case for you, let me show you something. The first thing I want you to do is play with where your heels are. So oftentimes people will kind of bring their heels in like this. I want you to try and keep heels straight behind your middle toe. It's just gonna stretch a different part of your calf instead of going around that restriction. Now, if you can't feel this still, send me a message and I will show you how to band your ankle when you're stretching it. See if we can access a bit deeper of a stretch. Whoops. And I have gone over in time. So come on out of that stretch. And we're gonna stretch the front of our feet now. So I want you to get your feet straight behind your heels. So not in like this, but straight behind. And then we're just gonna sit back towards our heels to try and get a stretch through the front of the foot or the front of the shin. You might get a little bit of cramping through the bottom of your foot just because we just worked them out and now we're bringing them into flexion. So if that happens for you, just ease off it today. We don't need too much of a cramp. Or tuck your toes under so we stretch this out just for a couple seconds. Make that cramp disappear before you come back into stretching. And then what we'll do is go back into stretching the front of the foot. Okay. Good. Now, if this is too easy, one at a time, you can lift the knee up and then come down just to get a bit more extension through the foot. And that is it for today. I hope that was interesting and you learned some new exercises and that you got some stretching and muscle activation happening in your foot and ankle. Have a wilder day and we'll chat with you guys soon.